Both myself and Mark lead busy lives, so it's essential that when we do have time together, that we're able to communicate. The beauty of the living space.
It has everything we need. It allows us to relax, and it's just right for me and Mark at this time in our lives. Welcome back. That was a quick recap of the sports pavilion we saw earlier.
So what do we think then?
I think these guys have just bought into a lifestyle. They've bought a set of design values which they would like to be identified with.
There are some elements of those values, I think, which are rather interesting. The problem is you have to apply them to your own home. To kick off, we have that rear wall. For me, we have a distinct lack of colour in this place. That wall, if it was painted a richer colour, would pull that room together, would look much nicer and warmer.
I like this. I'm not sure why I like this again. I like this, and I like the television there.
It's interesting you picked that picture up there, because I don't think this this sitting room is in the least bit sort of inviting.
This is really good quality work. It's just missing one step further, and that's just a little bit of thought and application to the room. I mean, you can't deny it. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? That to have a room, because that was clever of them, to turn the living space upstairs, taking advantage of that window run. Actually, this house does work. It's got great stuff. It just needs one more step.
This is a very fashionable look. It is such an off-the-peg style, and I almost feel that this is fixed to a very particular time.
But can we call it developer look?
Yeah,
it's developer look, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what developers do. Certain developers do. They think, okay, this is fashionable, we'll stick that in.
Which is right for what they're doing. What they're doing is they are providing a ready-made lifestyle for someone to put their bits and pieces in. It's meant to be a blank canvas to stamp their mark on. They haven't stamped their mark on it. Right, guys, we need to get the final house for today. And in fact, the third and final house for the whole week, isn't it?
Yes, now to an unusual conversion. A Hampshire chapel converted to home and health spa. Bought in 1986 for £70,000. The owners reckon they've spent £400,000 converting this into the perfect environment for entertaining. An Italian-style 1930s church might not be everyone's choice as a family home, but it was just what Phil and his wife Jill were looking for to convert into a home and spa business combined. Inside, the downstairs rooms all interconnect. There's a dining room, pool area, sitting room, family room and kitchen. Upstairs are 3 bedrooms and a turret room. The church cost £70,000 and the conversion cost £400,000.
I'm Phil, and together with my wife Jill, we wanted to make a unique home and a very special place for entertaining.
We wanted to keep the feeling of space, but to make a nice cosy family home to bring up the children in. Phil told me that the church was for sale. We had our architect with us at the time, came in to have a look, and really tongue-in-cheek I said, oh yes, looking around, this would make a lovely home. Never really thinking anybody would actually take me that seriously.
We had 6 months to do the design, and we did go through about 5 tons of paper, tearing up one scheme after another until we came to this, what is an ideal solution. We wanted to keep most of the Italianate features and the church features, like the pews and so on. This is the original pulpit from which I now serve my Holy Spirit, even on a Sunday morning. The organ really came about being where it's situated because we had to either choose to ditch such a lovely instrument or to make a feature of it, and I thought about putting it up above the pool.
I thought it was a bit of a mad idea at the time, but I'm really pleased we kept it because we've had such good fun with it.
The altar up by the far end of the pool is in fact the only part of the building we didn't alter. It's exactly where the ladies who are friends now or perhaps come into the club, it's where they said their wedding vows all those years ago. There was an occasion a few years ago when the local vicar rang us up in desperation asking if you could use our pool for a total immersion baptism. To complement the oak pews and so on which we inherited, we've made the radial staircase out of metal welded together but coated in oak to complement the rest of the building.
We designed this plinth area to keep the stained glass window as a whole window. Had we taken the floor right across, it would have chopped the picture in half. If you stand in the room down below, you can look up and see the whole picture.
Entertaining is important to me. I was brought up in East Africa in the colonial style, and you actually made your own entertainment. So I carried that tradition on. Our parties were foremost in our thoughts as to how we're going to use the space available to us. What with the parquet flooring, you can have a disco down there. Doesn't matter if the beer's spilt, it's just wipe it up. The house just exudes evening enthusiasm, really.
My favourite room in the house is the turret room. I love sitting up there. It's nice and quiet. Even in the late evening, the sun still shines up there, and you get the lovely views over the Solent.
My goodness.
Wow, it smacks you in the face, doesn't
Las
it?
Vegas rollover.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. Very confused interior design ideas, the whiff of chlorine, yes.
Do you say
I'm
it's
actually
confused?
quite speechless.
I actually think the pool is wonderful. I think it's
great?
It's gorgeous, the pool.
But actually,
I wouldn't say it's gorgeous. It's fun to have a
gorgeous.
pool.
but look at the pool, look at the shape here, look at the shape there.
Why isn't the pool rounded instead of this rather odd, very
Well, no, I
angular
like that
shape?
about it. Actually, also, I think this has been... There's a very good architect who was originally involved in this. The staircase is beautiful. This handrail is... I mean, that's seriously difficult and expensive.
yes.
This twisting handrail, lovely, lovely work.
This is what happens when you've got too much money.
Oof.
You can have too much money. I mean, if
I
they
don't
had
think we're
less
looking at the
money,
same house. I
think it
really
would-
don't believe we're looking at the same house. I think it needs just a few little adjustments. It just needs a fresh eye on it. There are little bits where it's becoming a bit cluttered, and if they just cleared it out a bit, I think we're on a winner.
Isn't there something quite nice about the
It
fact that
can
this
be.
home hasn't been staged every week and things removed because they don't fit? My concern is this is a party house and they want to entertain, but it doesn't have a kitchen breakfast room, so presumably, unless they have staff, she's in the kitchen and he's with the guests in another one of the
Or maybe
the
he's in the
warrants.
kitchen and she's with the guests. you
Perhaps,
never
but they're
know.
certainly not
Yeah,
both with
excuse
the
me.
guests.
I just find it really difficult to say anything constructive about this place. But what I do like here is that they're still using it as a community space. They still have baptisms and they still have weddings. And I think that's really nice.
And the roof terrace is wonderful.
Yes.
Which amazing views.
It's almost like it's in a different country, isn't it?
It doesn't. You could shut yourself in there, couldn't you? And if you didn't get claustrophobia.
No.
Okay, well, it's time to do the scoring. So the first house is the French-style barn in Gloucestershire. What's your score, Naomi?
Well, I've given it 35 out of 50 for the look, and I've given it 45 out of 50 for the lifestyle.
Yes, it's great. It's full of personality. It's a nice, warm feel, great home. So I'm going to give it 37 on look. And then for lifestyle, it works. I'm going to give it 45.
I'm giving it 34 for the look. It's brave use of colours and it's consistent throughout. And I'm giving it 42 for the lifestyle because it works.
That's good.
Next, we've got the sports pavilion. Well, I wasn't convinced by its design, so I've only given it 16. But for lifestyle, I've given it 23. I think it does work for them. What do you think, Daniel?
I'd forgotten completely about the way that they'd reversed the living. I love that, with the upper floor being a living space. So on look, I'm going to give it 20. Lifestyle, bad storage, 25.
Well, I've given it 15 out of 50 for the look. I think they've just gone to the shop and kind of bought it. And I've given it 17 out of 50 for the lifestyle.
Ooh, low scores.
yes.
So the last house, the chapel. Daniel, what do you give that?
For me, it looked great. And I'm going to give it 40.
40?
Going to give it 40. I'm going to surprise you. And lifestyle, I'm going to give it 40 again.
Good.
Generous.
I've given it 13 out of 50 for look. Like I said, I just thought it was so naff. And lifestyle, I've given it 35.
My initial thoughts were down at sort of 5, 6 level. But then I looked at it again and there's a lot of clever things about it. So I've given it 30. And for lifestyle, I've given it 25 because I do think it falls down slightly on these little areas, which is not really conducive to very good parties, in my opinion. So where does that get us? Has the French-style barn got enough je ne sais quoi? Is it an early bath for the sports pavilion, or has the church spa gone where angels fear to tread? Let's see the totals for today's conversions. In third place, with 116 points, is the sports pavilion. Doing rather better with 183 points is the church spa, which means out of today's homes, with 238 points, the French-style barn has done the best. So it's the end of the week. We've seen all 15 homes in our conversion category, and it's the moment of truth. Let's see who now